I'm here with the Archivest. This man not only is like a hip-hop encyclopedia, you can ask him anything about any artist you want, and he'll give you an answer. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on? How you doing?
Not too bad. I know you've been focusing on hip-hop in the city and all over. Actually, you put yourself out there a lot, and I know you got some websites going right now. Now, you want to tell us a little bit about your websites you got?
Yeah, VCArchives.com is basically Vancouver hip-hop media spot where you can download free music, have a 250 track playlist of like a radio you can listen to, and over 65 free albums that you can download. You just have to go by every month and check it out, but I got classic stuff on there from the late 90s.
Right. Okay.
And VC Hip Hop Shows was launched in June of 2010, and it's basically an interview spot, a place for shout outs for my work and recognition, and live performances as well.
Okay. Well, I know you do a lot of interviews with a lot of artists. Now, can you tell me about some of the craziest interviews or some of the craziest altercations you might have had during trying to get those interviews with any artist in particular that stand out to you?
Well, Joel Santana was probably the hardest that I had to deal with. I got carried on through an entourage after the show, and the manager seen because I had a write-up of all my work. And basically, as I was going to get taken out, I got with the entourage. They had to block the doors off. There's like 100 fans having to chase to come through the back because they had VIP entries, and basically that wasn't connected. No one could get it. Like the promoters kind of shafted everyone out, and it was a kind of a fast cash grab for them. But how it went down, I got backstage, and then we did the interview. It was a quick 6-7 minutes. Usually I take 18 to 25 minutes per interview that I do. So it was pretty extensive to be connected with that. But so when we did the interview, we had two big bouncers lock the doors and block them. And literally he was just like, hey, whoa, like that, and like looking around in the whole area, and he just didn't know what was going on. And then the manager was beside me. She's like, okay, you got to wrap it up. And then we just got taken downstairs, and they got in the SUVs, and they were gone, you know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy show. Like, people had to audition. Local artists had to audition and sell so many tickets just to get noticed. And if they didn't do it, then that was too bad for them, and they got actually taken off the bill. So it's kind of a crazy event. Yeah. Dawes Effects, sat down with platinum legendary artists from New York City, and Crazy Drazy was just, man, this guy is so crazy, dude. Like, I don't know what's going on, like how you can just throw these questions at us and just be so enthusiastic, and it was just incredible. That was a pretty big highlight. Who else have I worked with? Well, I mean, Big Boy was quite an extensive interview. I was kind of just sitting there, just really patient, because I'm the guy behind the camera, so I do all just my written attempts and stuff. That was really crazy. Cool DJ Red Alert, which is one of the forefathers of hip-hop culture, so I sat with him, and we did a little something, and I was kind of worried about the interview because I didn't really represent it how I should have. It's Cool DJ Red Alert instead of DJ Cool Red Alert, but he said it was okay, and it was my interview, and basically I could, do whatever I wanted with it. And that was just, wow, like talking about, the life of Guru and Boogie Down Productions, and about the birthplace of hip hop. I've never been to New York City, so for me it was like, wow, I could not believe this just was unfolding, and then that same day I had to go interview Slaughterhouse as well.
Oh, okay.
So, which was pretty crazy as well.
So you had a busy day that day, I guess.
Yeah. Another big one was Ninth Wonder.
Okay.
And how that all unfolded, which was in a really amazing, I believe, a supernatural kind of feeling, because I was working with a fellow by the name of Rasul, who's one of the best lyricists in Europe, in Germany.
Right.
And, unfortunately, he suddenly passed away, and we did some music together, and, it was really an amazing thing. He worked with Static Selecta and did a track with D-Block.
Right.
And so from that whole situation, I went to his funeral that day, and then we were on our way back and I heard Ninth Wonder was in town. So he was tweeting on his Twitter and he's like, yo, well, you know, I want to DJ at Fortune Sound Club, you know. So I got a hookup through Hip Hop Karaoke and I got to sit down with Ninth Wonder himself and do an exclusive interview on his career. And I didn't even have anything written. I was just in the back of the club coming up with questions. And I'm just like, man, that was like a huge thing for me. Who else? Mr. Fab was another one. Really big, 40-minute interview with him. It's a four-part on my website, which is about his lifestyle and history and working with Fizz Nation and whatnot. So that's a few. Definitely, Teddy Ted was another one from Nice and Smooth. And that was classic, you know, from the Awesome 2, and Obsession, which is an international Cuban group who found, you know, the culture of hip hop in Cuba.
Crazy. Well, I mean, you sound like you're, you know, really successful when it's coming to the interviews.
Thank
and
you.
you know you're getting a lot of work in there. You know, with all the success, do you find that there's a lot of negativity around, you know, the work that you do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I've had people come up to me and like play games or push me around or something just because I'm filming a show, or, you know, they have nothing better to do, or try to gang up on me for no apparent reason. So I've literally had to go to the VIP and just be where I'm at because I know I'm safe and I'm good. I don't have to worry about these people where they come up to me and laugh in my face. And it's like, you know, to deal with all the haters that just, you know, I don't know you. You know, you come up to me, you want to say whatever you want and be like negative. I just say, I don't know you. Because, you know, my success is more important, and I know that I'm a staple to Vancouver's hip hop scene and what I've worked towards, so I'm not involved with the negativity. As well as my interviews aren't controversial, so I don't try to pick and pry at people's lifestyles. I'm just about their success and their history of what I could document from their behalf, you know?
Well, man, you know, I wish you nothing but the best. And you know, is there any interviews you got coming up next, like in the next couple of weeks, or, you know, what's your next show you're gonna be trying to get into or trying to check out?
Basically, I got Bun B coming up, which is really exciting. A legend from UGK, and working with him. And also, I have an interview coming up with Nardwar, the Human Serviette. So you be best checking that out because, you know, he was an inspiration to the documenting of my work. You know, he gave me my stardom by being involved with Supernatural's interview at Rock the Bells in 2009. That was really an amazing feeling of how I came back, what I was working with, and that just pretty much how I took off, because, you know, I got my first shout from RZA, I got pictures with Damian Marley, you know, I was the one to set up the background, to set up at Pop Opera for the VIP party for Rock the Bells. Shouts to Donnelly Nightclubs for that and helping me out with that. So I actually had a lot more VIPs that came to Nas's after party for that. And that was the kind of the pinnacle of the starting of my work, of how I got into it before I did my interviews and stuff like that. Because that was just, you know, an industry fan, I would say, you know, getting photos. I started my Wall of Fame. My Wall of Fame's more than 100 pictures deep now, with custom autographs. So I've worked towards that. And then, like I said, my first shout was RZA, so that was pretty amazing.
It's pretty dope. Well, you guys heard it first. This is Josh from hiphopvancouver.com.
It's the Archivest, and you already know the name, y'all.
Peace.